This conference will now be recorded.
Okay, so in the previous session, what we discussed, guys, yes, how we can consume the APIs, right, by using REST APIs, right? So to connect with the REST APIs or to connect or to consume the REST APIs, which connector we need to use? Yes, HTTP, right? HTTP client connector.
HT.
Yes, here we need to pass the connection. In the connection part, we will pass the base URL. Very important. Okay, in the interview or in the certification also you will get this question. Okay, in the connection part we will pass base URL and authorization, right? Authorization you will pass. Okay, this authorization we will pass in the connection part. In the operation part, right, in the operation part we will pass the source resource URL and the parameters, right? Parameters we will pass in the operation part, and header also we can pass. Okay, this authorization, even if you want to pass this authorization in the resource path also we can pass in the operation. We have a request headers, right? Request headers. Okay, there you can pass the request headers. There we can pass the authorization of like tokens. Okay, tokens, barrier tokens or any URLs you want to pass, there you can pass. Okay, so now, and which property we need to use to send the parameters or variables, dynamic values. If you want to pass any dynamic values or parameters, how we can pass, which property we need to use?
DDP.
DDP,
Very good, dynamic
Document property.
document property, right? So
yes.
dynamic document property is used to pass the dynamic values. Let's say any values are coming now, that values are keep on changing the every every request or every execution. Then we can go with the dynamic document property and we can pass the values, right? Either you can pass directly from the parameter session, or else you can pass from the set properties. In the set properties you can store the dynamic document property values and then we can pass them in the resource path. Okay, resource path. Clear till here? Anyone have any questions or any doubts? Yes. Okay, anyone have any questions or any doubts? Okay. So yeah, if it is clear, actually, no, whatever no, I told you, right, how we can use web services and HTTP client connector, I completed that. Okay. So now the last topic one is left. Okay. Today I will complete that. Then we are going to complete the API. So when whatever I told you, right, how to consume and how to expose the APIs, I told you. Okay. Okay, if you want to learn API management, okay, complete API management, gateways and all, you can go through the documentation and all you can get from the community itself. Okay, so now general, okay, it is a very important topic, and the in general every interviewer will ask this question. Okay, not only in the interview perspective, in the real time also it is very important. So basically when we are deploying the process, okay, when we are deploying the process, there are three modes. Okay, general mode, general mode, low latency mode.
Low latency.
Yes, so low latency mode,
Bridge mode.
very good, bridge mode, right? And bridge mode is a kind of newly introduced uh, bridge mode, newly introduced by Boomi, recently, like 1 year back. Okay, so now, what do you mean by general mode, low latency mode, and bridge mode? Basically, whenever we are deploying any process, for example, this is your process. Okay, this is your process, and you are working with this process. You deployed this process, right? we deploying, in general we will not focus, right? We will not focus anything, right? Just we will develop the process and we'll deploy the process. But if you are deploying, the process, how you can monitor this deployed process? How we will deploy the after deploying the process, where you will monitor it, where you will track the complete execution? You will track in the
Process
process
reporting
reporting
page.
page. We will go into the process reporting page, and there will, yes, there you will see all the executions, right? Complete logs, and what is the inbound data, and what is outbound data, what is the time of execution, each and every detail you can see in the process reporting page. Okay, let's say, okay, for example, let's say you are getting some lakhs of records, okay, 1 million record, okay, you are getting 1 million record from the source, okay, from the source. So now it is taking around 20 minutes to complete the execution. Okay, then now client asked you to, I want to improve my performance, or else I want to decrease my execution time. Then how we will do the execution time decrease? So in Boomi we have multiple options, right? So for, if it is a batch based integration, or it is a a schedule based integration, so basically we'll go with the flow control shape, right? Flow control shape is there. In the flow control shape we have two options. One is a parallel processing, right? One is a parallel processing, and another is a batching option. So by using that, we can somehow we can decrease the execution time, because here we have a parallel processing, right? Instead of going with sequential, we'll go with the parallel processing. Like again, in the parallel processing, if you remember, we have two options. Okay, I already explained that. Okay, threading, and we
Editing
have a
and
threading, yes, threading and the number of process, right? By using these two options, we can do the parallel process, so that somehow we can decrease the execution time. Okay, and this is one option. And another option, we have a try catcher. In the try catcher we have retry counts. Okay, without retry counts, we can decrease the performance, we can improve the performance. Okay, these are all general methods. Okay, general methods. Okay, okay, now let's say I have a web services. Okay, I have web services, or else I have a real time integrations. Okay, real time integration. From here we are getting lakhs of records. Okay, from here you are getting lakhs of records. Now it is not a kind of batch based, right? We will not get a kind of bulk of amount. For example, from the source, if it is scheduled based, for in the let's say it is scheduled for every 5 minutes. Okay, for example, it is scheduled for 5 minutes. In the 5 minutes, let's say 10,000 records are stored at the source side. This 10,000 records we are going to be pull at a time, and we can process it at a time, so that it is going to be as a bunch or as a batch. It is executing at a time. But it is not in the case of web services or real time, right? The moment when the request is created at the source, the same moment boom is pick up, which means there is no particular batch, or there is no particular bunch of records it is going to be pulled, right? It's a kind of individual pulling, right? So that it might be, there is might be getting it, for request, you may get 1,000 records. For request you may get 100 records. For request you may get one record also, right? There is no constant, right? There is no constancy or constant. So at that time, what you need to do, if they a client asked you to improve the performance. Okay, if it is a web services or real time, there is no chance of doing the flow control shape, right? We cannot use flow control shape, because we are not sure how many documents are coming, or how many incoming requests are coming, right? So that now, then at the time, what you need to do, at the time what you need to do, so that time we need to go with the low latency mode. Okay, if you if you have a web services or real time integrations, so it is a better you go with a low latency mode. Okay, so now what do you mean by general mode, and what do you mean by low latency, and what do you mean by a bridge mode, we'll discuss now. Okay, actually, let me get into my process. This is our process, right? Okay, this is our process, or else, okay, this where we are working on. Let me expand our flow component explorer, and here we are working, right? Okay, yesterday we developed this consume list APIs. So this is a process where we are working, right? So now if you see here, this is a, in which mode it is deployed. Okay, where we can see, which mode it is deployed, and on which mode it is running. So you see here we have a shapes palette, right? We have options, we have extensions, we have arrange, we have navigation and nodes. So these are all different options we have. So the second option, if you see the second bold or second, you can see process options, process mode. We have a three modes. You can see here we have a process mode, deployed process modes. You have three modes. One is a general, bridge and low latency. Okay, these are all three modes we have. So general, every time general will going to be no, general mode, where we can see all the different options, right? So we can log the details and we can do all the what are the actions we can perform on the general mode, we can see. So now this is the default process mode. You can see general is the default general mode. So now I want to get into low latency mode. Use this process mode to improve the performance for short lived processes that short within one of the limited number of connectors. In order to achieve increased performance, right, various process tracking functionally disabled. So now you can see use this process mode to improve the performance of short lived process. So if you want to improve the performance execution, we can go with the low latency mode. Okay, low latency. So now, okay, low latency mode. What I will do, I will deploy the process in the low latency mode. Instead of that, I will get a one process from my process library. So this is also I will show you how we can get the already pre-built processes. Okay, if you remember, when the starting I explained you, Boomi is a multi-tenant architecture, right? Boomi is a multi-tenant architecture. Okay, this you can see here, these are all the different processes which are used by multiple users, right? Multiple accounts can be used, all these processes, which means it is a Boomi is a multi-tenant architecture. So now we have one option, one process. Okay, this is heartbeat, atom heartbeat monitoring. So we'll install this and we'll work on it. Okay, API. Okay, batch 8 install. Okay, view process. Okay, so now web services, right? We are working web services, so I will get into this web services. Okay, this is my process. Okay, this is my process. So now, so basically one more important thing. Okay, one more important note. For example, for example, so you given no, you built a one API, right? You given a one API, and you added multiple users into your web services, and you are giving the access to them to hit your API, right? Let's say some 100 users are there, or some 10 users are there. Out of 10 users, no, you want to monitor them, or you want to check whoever hitting your request, whoever consuming your request, or you are exposing your request. All these details you want to monitor. For example, so some out of 10, out of 10, every time you want to monitor them, every time you want to monitor them. It is a general, right? In the real time also, if the client have a multiple users. Okay, for example, one client is there, is an Amazon. Okay, Amazon is your client, and you are consuming or you are exposing APIs for the ad. So for Amazon, there are multiple users are there. Let's say some shoe company. Okay, in the shoe company, multiple 10 brands are there. So 10 brands are using this Boomi. Okay, so now you want to monitor which brand is consuming your APIs, or which brand is exposing your APIs. So now you want to monitor. Okay, then how we can monitor? How we can monitor? Okay, basically, okay, so now here you can see here. Okay, this is a process which we built. Okay, which already pre-built process. Now this is how we can process. For example, okay, you want to check. Okay, you can see here. Here we have a process called shape, and a process called one sub process is built. In the process reporting, they are written the custom scripting. Okay, actually custom scripting they built. So this is a process custom scripting they built, like process name, Boomi execution ID, and Boomi atom ID. All these details you can see here. Okay, process name, atom, all these details they are used. So now you want to check the who is the user, and who is the user, hitting your user, and all these details you want to check. So how we can check, how we can check now, this is a process already built. So now here you can see here they are passing in user, in path and method. So you can see here we have a methods, right? So this is a path, right? This is a path and this is a method, right? Get, query, create, all these methods is there. So which method they are using, which path they are using, and who's the user, you want to check all these details. Now you can check this. So now how we can check this? Okay, so this is a process they built. So i will I will tell you here. If you see here, okay, here they are writing the scripting. Okay, they are writing the scripting, that's fine. Okay, now if you come to the message shape, here they are passing the values, right? In path, in in user, in method, process name, execution id and atom. So what are the details you want to pass, you can pass. Now you can see here, you can see here this path, in user, in path in method, these are all important, these three. So in user, in path and in method. So same in path, how they are written, same you need to read, or you, in your process also you need to. So and one more thing, you need to pass with a dynamic process property. You can see here in user with a dynamic process property, right? In path you can, it is used by dynamic process property. Same naming convention you need to pass, okay, you need to follow. So now let me, can we test it directly from here, which is web services? Can we test it?
No, we first deploy the create a component.
Very,
Then
because it is a web services listener process, right? It is a listener process, we cannot test directly from the boom, right? So now we need to create a package, add details, okay, component, deploy. So it is going to be consume any license, thus process consume any license, any license it is going to be consumed.
No.
Why? Why? Why it is not going to be consume any license?
Services will not have
we
any
don't want to have
license.
any connection.
Sorry, here we have web services, right? Connector type we are using. Yes, in the connector you can see here
Web
web
service
services.
won't consume any connection.
Sorry, very good, the web
Web
services.
service,
Okay, there are couple of, okay, couple of connectors which are not going to be consume the license. That is, one is the web services and atom q, atom spare apis, right? And as2 connector, these are all some of the connections which are not going to be consume your license. Okay, that's fine. Now we deployed the process, right? We deployed the process. Now how we can test it out, how we can test this process? By using, by using postman, right? We can test the process using postman. Okay, let me add this. Okay, so to test the process, what are the things we need? We need base url. Let me copy this base url from here. Yes, can I? Yes. And resource url, from where I can get this resource url? Here we have process web services. I click on this. This is a simple url or a resource url. Yes, yes or no?
Yes, sir.
And next what we need to pass, what next, what we need to pass? So now here you can see it is none. You can see it is expected input is none, which means we need to pass the parameters, okay, either query parameter or param parameter. Okay, and here you can see the single o data, it is saying in single o data and text format, that's fine. So now then I'm not pass anything here as of now. Then authorization, right? Then authorization, basic authorization and username and password is there. So now let me test it out. Let me test it. So you can, here I'm not passing any parameter, because see here already it is not no single text format it is expecting. And okay, that's fine. Now you can see here, now you can see here, greeting from your atom web services, greeting from atom web services, in user is booming, and atom, get atom heartbeat process name, Okay, get at process name, get atom heartbeat, right? In path, okay, in path you can see here, in path get at heartbeat, in path, this is a in path, right? And in method get, you can see here in method is get. And so web services had atom, no, process name, this is the execution id, and this is the atom id. So now it is clear, right? So now where we can check these executions, in which where we can check these executions. And before that, why it is not showing in xml format or json format, why it is simply text format it is showing, why it is showing a text format? You can see here response output type, which type of single data and text format, text plain format it is saying, right? So we chosen single data and the text format, that's why it is giving the no, response in the text format. That's fine, that's fine. Now where we can check these executions, where we can check these execution details? In the process
In the
reporting page.
process input
Yes,
page,
The
in the
right
process
side
reporting
we
page
have
we can.
an option.
Yes. Okay, now it is heated at 8 o'clock, not now. So do we see 8:54? Any execution is here? Any execution details you can see in the process reporting page? No, no, right? No, right? Why? Why? Because the see here. So now this is a process. Okay, let me get into the process. Why? Because it is deployed in low latency mode. Okay, this process is deployed in low latency mode. Okay, this process is deployed in low latency mode. How we can check this process deployment? If I click on this, now you can see here process mode is low latency. Yes, process mode is low latency. Okay, if I go back to any other process, consume rest apis, right? If I come here, if I click on this, you can see here process mode is general, right? Process mode is general. This process is deployed in low latency, that's why we can see all the execution details in the process reporting page. So very important note here. Okay, if the process, if the process is deployed deployed in the low latency mode, okay, if the process is deployed in low latency mode, we cannot see the executions in the process reporting page, right? Process reporting page. Then here, if you are no, now how we can monitor, how we can check the logs and how the process execution, all these details if you want to check, how we can check them, how we can check? So see, if the process is not deployed in the general mode, or if it is deployed in the low latency mode, then we cannot able to see the logs in the process reporting page, right? We cannot able to see the process reporting page. So basically that I will tell you why, what is the difference between general and low latency mode. So if you are deploying the general mode, all this process, okay, whatever the process is deploying the general mode, it will capture all the details like no logs, process logs, okay, process logs and inbound data. Inbound data means what is the incoming data, right? Inbound data and outbound data, all these details is going to be captured by this general mode. Okay, if you are deploying the process in the low latency mode, it is not going to be log all the process logs, inbound data, outbound data in the process reporting page. That's how it is going to be decrease your performance time. Okay, so see, if you want to track all each and every log and inbound data, outbound data, all these things, it is going to be take a couple of time, minutes of time or couple of seconds of time to write. So that's why it is taking more time if it is in a general mode. If it is in low latency mode, here it is not going to be track everything, just it will check only the messages, that's it. Okay, and even it is not showing in the process reporting page. Okay, that's why it is going to be improve your performance, it is going to be improve your performance, the low latency mode. Okay, now, okay, until and unless the process is running successfully, there is no issues. Okay, right? If you're not no if you're not getting any issues or any errors, then it is fine, no one will raise anything. Once if you are facing any issues, or if that particular process is getting any errors which is deployed in low latency mode, we cannot able to see in the process reporting page. Yes, then how we can monitor it, how we can troubleshoot those errors, right? How to resolve those issues? It is an important, right? It's an important, right? So now when we are deploying the process in the low latency mode, okay, this is a process, right? So when we are deploying the process in the low latency mode, so now it is a low latency. If I click on this, okay, now you can see here only generate process logs on error. If you check this checkbox, okay, only generate process logs on error. If they select this, process logs will only generate if the process errors. We can recommended this option be used for web service or event based integrations. So now now if you want to get the details in the process reporting page, or else if you want to track these error details in the process reporting page, if you are checking this checkbox, so the failed document, okay, failed executions, the failed executions will be display on your process reporting page. Okay, this is one thing. Okay, okay, this is one thing. When if you are getting any errors, then we can track these details in the process reporting page. Okay, that is fine, that is fine. But client wants to, I want to track each and every process execution which are deployed into the load register. Either it is a successful execution or it is a failed execution. Then how we will track, how we will track, how we will track? Yes, because here the boom is not allowing you to track the or capture the details in the process reporting page, right? Then what is the alternate way? What is the alternate way? It is very very important question, guys. Okay, Amani, if you remember yesterday, when we apply, no, when we attend the Birla software, that interviewer asked the question, if you remember, how we will improve the performance, and if it is deployed in the low latency, how we will track the executions. Amani is there? I think she's not there.
No.
Okay, so yeah, so yesterday the interviewer asked this question. So now there are two options. If it is a failed execution, then we can check in the process reporting page. Okay, that is the one option. Okay, if it is a success execution, then where we need to track, how we need to track. So now if you see here, we have a dashboard. Okay, we have a dashboard. So here we have no different dashboards: account dashboard, HTTP status dashboard, and real-time dashboards. If I click on the dashboard, real-time dashboard, okay, it will give you the complete details of the executions, like execution status by time, execution status average, how many executions is happening, right? And you can see here process summary when it is executed. If I click on this, okay, it will give you complete average response. Okay, it will give you the response time elapsed, right? Okay, and here you can add the, okay, filters you have. Okay, in the dashboard we can check, but even here also we cannot check the. So here we can see the which is failed or success, but we cannot able to track the logs. Okay, we cannot able to track the logs. Then how we need to track the logs, how we need to check the inbound data, how we need to check the outbound data. Yes, so now it is very very important, guys. Okay, no one will teach you, or no one will, most of the Boomi developer does not know this concept. Okay, how to track the low latency. Okay, so now you can see here, if you want to track the low latency mode, so we have a base url, right? And we have a resource url, and we have a resource url. We have a parameters we are passing. So now in the parameters you need to pass like this. Okay, very very important. Okay, a boomi question mark underscore boomi underscore debug, okay, is equals to true. This is a parameter you need to pass to track the, okay, to track the execution which are deployed in the low latency mode. Question mark underscore boomi underscore debug is equals to true, where we need to pass. So this is a process which we are testing, right? Or else which we are trying to expose or consume. So now here, okay, after the resource path, add a question mark, underscore boomi, and it all are lower cases, underscore debug is equals to true. Okay, is equals to true. Now let me send it out, let me execute. Now you can see we are getting the response, now go to the process reporting page. Okay, now go to the process reporting page. Okay, this is my process reporting page, right? Okay, let me click on the, okay, let me refresh it. Now you can see here, when it is heated, 9 o'clock, right? You can see time period 9. Yes or no? Yes, you can see the even the process is deployed in the low latency mode also. We can check, we can able to see the, right? Let me open this, right? These are all the act logs, okay, process logs, okay, which is deployed in the low latency mode also. We are getting the logs, right? Now you can see we are getting all the logs when, and we are getting to inbound data, outbound data, right? We can able to track, right? Just give me a second, guys. Hello, go in. Okay, sorry guys, I got an important call. That's fine. What we are discussing? Yes. Now you can see here, if it is deployed in the low latency mode, also we can see the logs in the process reporting page. This is how we can track. Okay. So how we can track the logs, or how the process which we deployed in the low latency mode. This is how we need to pass the parameter question mark underscore boomi underscore debug equal to true. If you are passing like this, then we can able to track the logs. Clear? Okay, I will show you again. I will remove this. Okay, I'm removing this and this question mark also. Let me test, let me execute this. Now go back to the process reporting page. If you refresh it, you can see here, you can see we are not able to see the execution in the process reporting page, right? Okay, now go back to the postman again, add your this thing, okay, the parameter. Now execute it. Now it is executed. Go back, now refresh it. Now you can see here another execution is come, right? So this is how we can track the which are deployed in the low latency. It is very very important, guys, very important, very important in the perspective of interview as well as in perspective of real time also. So, like the interviewer will ask the what are the modes available in the boom. We have a three modes. One is a general mode. General is a general default mode where we can deploy each and every process. It is going to be track each and every log, inbound data, outbound data, each and everything in the process reporting page. And low latency mode. Low latency mode is a mode where we can deploy the process if you want to improve if your performance. Okay, or else it So basically in the process reporting page we cannot able to track these executions, okay, which are deployed in the low latency mode, which are deploying the low latency mode, we are not able to track. Okay, but if you are, when we are deploying the process, there is an option called get error detail, error messages, right? So process execution errors. So if you are checking that checkbox, if any process is getting deploy error which are deployed in the low latency mode, only those executions we, those are reflecting the process reporting page. Okay. Yeah, Likit. Good morning, I'm in class, give me 5 minutes, I'll call you. Okay, this no which only the process which are getting deployed in the low latency mode which are failing, those only will reflect in the process reporting page. Now if you want to track all the executions which are success or failed, you want to track them in the low latency mode, either we can go with a dashboard. Okay, in the dashboard we have a three options: account, in the complete account executions, or real time executions, and http executions. Okay, if you click on the real time executions, we can check the which are deployed in the real time. Those executions we can see which are getting failed or completed successfully, only those details we can see. How much time it is taking, that details we can see, but we cannot able to track complete, inbound data, outbound data, or the logs we cannot see in the dashboard. Okay, I will show you again. I will show you again here. Okay, dashboard, real time dashboard. So here execution summary and the execution status, if any completed or complete in the process or any getting error, all these details we can see, right? And which how much time it is taking, right? And the executions inbound, you can see here average inbound size and average inbound count, outbound size and outbound, these things we can see. The size of the no inbound data, outbound data, and the how many inbound messages coming, or outbound message, how many outbound messages going, all these details we can see, but we cannot see the logs, exact data, right? So now if you want to track the things, we need to go with the this thing. So heartbeat, okay, sorry, this one, question mark underscore bhumi underscore debug equal to true. If we are putting this parameter, then we can able to track the complete details in the process reporting page. Clear? Clear till here? Till here clear? Anyone have any questions or any doubts till here? This is very
Yes, sir.
important, guys. Okay. Okay, this thing, I know, I'm saying that no one no will teach you this thing. No one will teach you. I know. Okay, so now that last mode was the, this is a bridge mode. Okay, so bridge mode is the combination of, okay, it is the combination of general, and low latency. Okay, low latency, it is a combination of general plus low latency. So 1 year back it is introduced in the booming. Okay, so basically most of the candidates does not know how to debug the issues, right? Right now I told you, right? We need to put this underscore boomi underscore boom, debug is equal to true, and where it is not difficult to them where we need to pass this parameter, how we need to pass these parameters. Most of the developers will not understanding this. That's why right, that's why no Bhumi facing so much issues due to this concern. What they introduce a new thing, that is a bridge mode. So it is a combination of general and low latency. So when we are deploying any process in the low latency, general mode, then we can see the logging details and inbound data, outbound data, like high level we can see, and it is not going to be track complete details, just it will track what is inbound data and what is the outbound data, and loggings minimal loggings, that's it. For example, let me deploy this into the uh, general mode, sorry, bridge mode. Okay, sorry, bridge mode. Okay, I'm deploying it into the bridge mode. uh, allow simultaneous executions, auto capture. Okay, let me recommend and bridge mode. Okay, start. You can see here it is not allowing you to start with a start shape. Okay, here it is asking only the connector type, because so this bridge mode and the low latency mode are recommended go with the real times. Okay, these are all you recommended go with the real times. Okay, listener processes. Yes. So if you are deploying the process in the bridge mode, you can see minimal logging logs and inbound data and outbound data. Okay, clear till here? Anyone have any questions or any doubts, or anyone not understood anything? So this is very important, guys. Bridge mode, general mode, and low latency mode. So in the real time perspective, anyhow we'll check no, according to the requirement we'll deploy. But in perspective of real interview, okay, uh, if you attend 5 interviews, out of 5 minimum 4 interview will ask the modes of this no deployment process modes: general, low latency, and bridge. Anyone have any questions or any doubts till here? Yes. Okay, if you don't have, let me stop the recording.